Yo, so a nice comment. Thank you for that. Looking for I guess the spoon, the song after spoon, which really the last stop, like reprise. It's at the end of the last stop. Which in the last stop video, I didn't even think to include that. It's tuned down a half step, um, so I don't think the last stop is tuned down half a step, but it's just kind of like a weird thing, I guess. I'm going to show you how to do it in just standard tuning. If you don't know how to tune it to a half step down, you would just, this E, basically anywhere on the guitar, you move down a fret, which is a half step. Some notes don't have a half step. Sometimes that half step equals another whole note. Like from E to F. There's no such thing as F flat or E sharp. Or B to C. There's no such thing as B sharp or C flat. That being said, that's information I guess you don't really need to know. And now this intro is way too long to just jump into this. Anyway, this is how you would do it. So in standard tuning, it is this B, right? And then to a B flat, and then it goes up to an F sharp. Okay, the way you would get into that from the last stop is in the end of the last stop. That's it. Now it's a little interesting. It's in I think 3/4 time. So it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And the lyrics in the outro spoon, come in from the cold for a while, everything will be all right. Come in for the cold for a time, something. The lyrics start on the fourth note, so on this F sharp. So I've got my pinky here on the D string, fourth fret, which is an F sharp. Okay, so it's the same thing as that chord. It's the same note, or root note, I should say, of the chord in the last stop. Right? Okay, so it's still that F sharp. However, you're going to move down to a B, which is the second fret A string. Okay, and then to a B flat, which is the first fret A string. So it's a half step down from a B to a B flat, and then up to an F. So you're just moving up a string to the low E on the first fret, which is an F, and then over a half step to the F sharp. Okay. I would listen to it to just play with it and try to get that rhythm down. That's how it's going. Now, if you wanted to tune your guitar down a half step, okay, so you're going to move an E to an E flat, right? In your tuning, you get a tuner out, and you can probably set it to, down a half step, and it'll tell you when it's all, good. This is going to be in standard tuning, so I'm not going to say this sound the same, but you could play a G, right, and just take these two fingers off of your G, because remember, F sharp, right? We're starting on a B, right? We're going to move over to a G. So it's actually, that's not true. It's really going to be a C. Okay, so because we were down a half step, in standard tuning, we went to a B. Now we're going to go like we are tuned half step down. We're going to move it up to a C to show you how to do that. So as if you were going to play a G, only move your fingers down. So it's like a C add 9, right? Only we're not going to play a C add 9. We're just going to put our fingers in that position. So our ring and pinky finger on the high E and B string of the third fret, right? Or you could just take your pinky off and you'll be fine with just your ring finger on the B string of the third fret, your middle finger on the third fret A string, and we're going to do the same pattern of 3 2 2 3, right? It's a lot like the You and Me outro. it's this little box of 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So. That's if you're tuned down a half step, or if you're just playing and you don't necessarily care if it sounds like what it sounds like on the CD or when Dave Matthews is playing it, which is totally fine too. Otherwise, I would stick to this. Oops. There you go. The last stop reprise.